you guys are preparing to do something. You guys had used the last remains of the flight spells in both Ulan, Booker, and Daniela Sherwood to lift everyone up to several platforms above where you were previously. So you were a good distance away from this ley line, which you guys can still feel pulsating below you guys. Just it is not as effective from where it is, and you can't really feel it very much through the steps now that you land on it. But it's still very much there through the walls, as you can almost hear it passing up the wall with every beat. As you guys are all gonna, I imagine, prepare for some type of rest.
I think Seraphina wanted to do something first.
Yes, Seraphina, what are you trying to do? As everyone is now up on these steps above. It's large enough that you guys can easily spread yourselves out to rest.
Well, I do have the cut face.
Yeah.
So I don't know how.
Let's all cramp with something that was already cramped when
Yeah,
we didn't
I
have
was
two
like, I
people
don't know
more.
how. Yeah. I want to see if I can use unstable burst. I will not force it. I will just fly.
Right. At this point, you can feel the pulse. The pulsings aren't going through you anymore. They're just going through the wall. They're not really entering the steps at this point. So now that you're this high, you can feel the burning essence of Pyrox again.
Oh, okay.
He's not happy, but he is now present. Technically, I should say they are present.
You were just assuming gender, Ambi. That was
I know.
very nice.
That's terrible of me. Yes. They are present. Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm a terrible person that invites it all the fucking time.
I felt pulled away. What do we need?
Get past it. Somehow.
It was pulling me in. Almost like it was interrupting. It threatens me. And even without trying, you can feel when you raise your hand that you can feel it there. About the same as it was previously. The rest of you, I imagine, you're just going to preparing for a rest, just laying down.
Yep.
The steps are pretty cold, as they're literally blocks of metal. But you guys have got mostly accustomed to this temperature at this point.
I'm gonna
So it's not too bad.
shove Aaron over in the direction of Miss Sherwood to like put his sleeping bag down over there.
I will not notice until it's too late.
Okay. Basically, it's pushing with the rest of the group, where Ro, Janga, and Booker are, as she's keeping close to Booker. Yeah, you push him over.
Huh?
Oh, you coming to join us, Mr.
Aaron, his name's Aaron. He'll
Aaron.
enjoy spending the night with you. Goodbye. And I shove him and run away.
I trip. Hello.
I facepalm from the other side. Well away from the
Facepalm
theater.
from the other side.
Yes, Master. Hockstad, this is Aaron. He was there assisting in rescuing me from the cultists, from the group of Talona that the elves finished off.
Yes, it was quite a rescue mission indeed.
Oh. Well, if you're tired, come and rest. We were just discussing a few minor details of when we reached the bottom.
Yes, of course.
Apparently, there was something about the forest down there was in season, which I don't actually know what that means. Ro is just filling me in.
That's fascinating.
Ro's just kind of looking at you, just kind of confused, just like, fair enough. As we're saying, when we get down there, we want to keep as high up as possible. If we get too close to the forest level, there's a chance we could get caught in the spores. As it's always moving, though, I don't know how large it is. And we're just trying to get past this. I'm not sure if we have the gliders or not. And what effect do these spores actually do? I know they, as he kind of nods to both Aaron and the rest of the group behind, they want to know what's actually going to do to us. Effects usually are done by usual fungi spores. Generally hallucinations.
I'm trying to keep straight face and not think about fun guy fun.
From there we'll head towards the falls, and then from there we'll head towards the ruins. There we're supposed to meet them. Hopefully they haven't been caught by anything, especially if there's activity from these drow in the area. There, hopefully, the rest of us can group up, and then we can decide on our destination. What are the rest of you up to now? Are we just going to go into a rest?
Milan's gonna rummage around. Actually, who has the bag of holding right now?
Aaron?
Aaron.
No, I'll give it back to you.
I'm gonna
Okay.
go up behind Aaron, and while he's listening to this really intense conversation, I'm gonna reach around and undo the belt.
Give him a reach around? Oh,
I'm
No,
gonna.
I put the belt
In
back
public?
the bag of holding. It
Oh,
was,
you
I
put it
think,
back in. Oh, okay. I'll just take the bag of holding then and retrieve the belt. from the
Okay.
bottom, and then join Serafina and Saren wherever they're sitting.
what's around?
A little bit away from kinda everybody-ish.
I'm also gonna reach into the bag of holding and look for and like pull out some of my rations,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna like separate out the nut pieces and start feeding them to Bubo.
Actually, have people been marking off the rations in the bag of holding?
Yes.
Okay. Because then, yeah, you mark off another set of rations for you guys for this rest. If you're going to go into a full long rest, which I
Are we
sense
having to feed the others, or are they feeding themselves?
they have food. Yeah. Ro has a
Okay.
backpack on her side.
And there's 7 of us, right?
Yes.
So we're down to 219 meals.
Oh no.
Oh my god, whatever will we do?
Oh, it helps if you press the edit button first. It's like, why is this not typing anything?
As you're doing this, Denia is actually conjuring food with her hands. Just like, whoom. Actually, how much can she create? Because there might actually be enough for you guys as well.
Yeah, didn't we say create food and water is like insane amount of food and water?
It says so,
Yeah,
so
it's-
many pounds.
45 pounds of food.
Oh my dear God.
Pretty good.
It's a buffet.
Did you say muffins?
It is a combination of food. It is, however, bland. However, there's several people with the prestidigitation spell to flavor it up in various ways.
So we didn't eat rations.
So yeah, actually, you can add those rations back as Daniela notices that you guys are about to eat and says, "No, come, join us."
Work.
And she kind of creates
I
a.
picked up one of my rations as well. This thing was happened before. I was like, take a ration.
That's fine.
Savanti's already asleep, by the way.
Okay, yeah. You guys don't seem to have any problems, as no creatures seem to get too close to this. There's no real spiders, there's no real insects around this area. It's very much vacant apart from this pulsing sound you guys have. There's just... but yeah, you are fed, and it is flavored by Aaron to make it bearable, and it's quite a good amount of food and water.
While we're sat around doing stuff, I would like to fix Aaron's belt with mending.
You let his hands get that close to your groin?
Oh no, like I'll be like, hand over your belt, I'll fix it for you, and then fix it.
Okay.
Give it back.
It's only slightly bent, like the pin.
And for the record, that's why my hands go down back up there. Huh?
Well, you know what they say, you only hurt the people you love. I'm sure Saren's got the bruises to back that up as well.
At this point, then everyone goes into a long rest.
I would talk with Ulan and Saren
Oh, okay.
a little bit away from basically everybody trying to. And talk quietly. Saren, you asked earlier if I was okay.
I did. You alright?
Yes and no. Because the ley line has a very huge effect on Pyrox.
Oh.
What kind of effect?
When we are too close, I cannot feel them.
But
They're not there.
it came back as soon as you went away, right?
Yes.
So that just seems like the same with everything else. It's weakening the connective magic between you.
It's also pulling them in.
It's he's
like
pulling
it did,
Pyrox in.
yes, like it did with the magic item. It's absorbed the magic, basically the energy, and Pyrox is in a sense a source of energy because his captors are regularly draining energy from them.
Okay.
I have a that is what might.
So if they're draining energy, does it like his energy grow back then?
It does, but
Well, I mean, not to be heartless about it, but unless you plan on staying here, the
Yeah,
only
it's-
way to get past the thing is to get a wee bit closer and then like book it past. So I mean, Pyrox is just gonna have to hold on.
If we do it quickly, perhaps it
Yeah,
will be
right,
uncomfortable, but it might not be so bad.
We'll do it as quickly as we can.
that's my other concern. As Hochstrat said, me and Sherwood can be affected by it, but I think I might get affected differently because of the connection I have with Pyrox.
Well, the question remains: what's the alternative? Are you just gonna stay here? I mean,
No, it's just also to make you aware.
alright, okay.
Okay.
There's just not a huge amount we can do aside from turn back. And if you want to turn back, then fair enough, we'll turn back. But at this point,
It's if something should happen, so you are aware what might have happened.
okay.
Okay.
And yes, I'm very worried about it.
I can see that.
But you have a habit of worrying about things you end up not having needed to worry about. So maybe
I just want to be
you have.
careful.
Well, think about it this way: so many times something like this has loomed and you've worried, and then everything has been completely fine. So maybe you worrying didn't actually affect the outcome in any way. So maybe this time you just try not worrying, and we'll just like jump off and it'll be fine.
I'm just taking precautions.
Okay.
Is unpredictable.
All right. Well,
Gotcha.
the problem is, I understand you're trying to take precautions, but you're confiding into the least qualified people to possibly help.
Well, it's
I mean,
you know about it, and I was warned about being careful with who I share it.
you see Hochstrad notice something.
I talk with him, and he doesn't know much else. And it might be another thing because Pyrex is being put in. There is the possibility of basically them being put in and separated. I am not sure what effect it would have on me because, as I'm aware of and have been told, the stronger the connection is, the stronger or the bigger the consequences are.
If you're
us.
ever separated?
Yes.
Right.
And I don't know how this might work because that's not something that has been talked about.
When you say it's pulling him in, like, do you mean it's pulling him from the fire plane through you into it? Or do you mean it's pulling the part of him that's already inside you out of you?
Not sure, but I think assume that it might be all of them because
Well, because my thinking is, if this is pulling him from the fire plane into you, and then out of you, could it not, like, if you stayed right on the very edge, could it not help pull him out of wherever he's trapped?
I have more or less there's still a little bit, I would say. Basically, I think it's more the physical part that's still left, but everything else that was not the best phrasing of that, but everything else I have absorbed, merged with. So I think that it would mostly pull them from me.
Okay, right. So we can't use it to
Free him.
break him. That's a
Right.
shame.
That'd have been marvelously convenient.
Aye.
I think if it would pull them free, that will be too late then.
Does obviously Pyrox is communicating with you over a plane, right? Does Pyrox know anything like about the ley line or about, I don't know, plane stuff?
I have tried talking with them about more complicated stuff, and it
Well,
does seem like they have a very limited knowledge.
Right. So even like the ley line sucking the magic out of stuff, like that's not. You see that his captors are stealing energy from him, but he doesn't know how that works. Or anything.
Not really know.
Alright.
Doesn't even know what they're using it for.
Does he know who his captors are?
I know that once they are interacting with the most is Ifrit.
What's one of those? Actually, can I roll the check to see if I know what one of those is?
You can attempt to do one, yeah.
Because I imagine it might be like.
It's part of the planes, so you may have some understanding. Yeah, give me an Arcana check.
I can't. Oh yay.
Oh.
Ooh! Ooh!
A flat 18. Yeah. Because you've done some studying on elemental stuff from various reasons.
Well, I was imagining maybe like stories of the temple, even.
Stories from the temple, and also just assisting Seraphina in her own studies. Yeah, one of the main creatures of all the different planes are these almost genie-like creatures, which are very much influenced by the essence of the element they're connected to. Some are connected directly to the planes they're part of. One being the Ifrit, which are very much connected to the fire that surrounds them. Relatively tall, about 7 to 8 feet tall. A bright red skin. And can conjure fire at will, almost like you would know.
I know.
Elemental half of the Genasi?
No.
The
Well.
Jins? The
Oh.
Chinese Jins?
Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, I know what an Ifrit is, but
Yeah.
it's what it's kind of like.
And they do control the city of Brass. You know that as well.
Yeah, and do I know alignment sort of thing? Like I know that they.
No, that is one thing you're not really sure of. From stories, it's very much been about one of them. You're not sure about what their entirety is. What's a colony of them be like?
You mean like whether an individual Ifriti is evil?
Yeah.
Sort of thing, rather than a specific one. Okay.
From stories, some seem to be quite kind, thankful that they're released from their prisons. But yeah, I'm not completely sure.
Okay. So we're probably talking like, did we know he was already trapped on the fireplane? We already knew that because you had the dream about the city of Brass, didn't you?
Right.
Okay.
Called scrying. Not dream, scrying.
Well, no, didn't you have that weird vision where you walked through a door and everything was on fire?
That was the first dream, yes. But she also
Yeah.
saw in the scrying spell the actual chamber.
That's why
Okay,
I
yeah.
saw the city from a distance.
Right, yeah.
With the scrying spell, I was actually
In the room with him.
in
right,
the
yeah.
room. I don't think I said that. Maybe.
No, we did because you told Elon about it because he called him a great ball of fire. And then
Oh yeah.
sung the song. Yeah. How it? You said you were absorbing him into you and becoming one and all of that stuff.
Merging.
Yeah. How are you doing that? Is that just happening over time, or is it like something that you're actively doing?
It has been happening over time.
And is that freeing him? Like what happens when that gets to the end? Is he just not in his prison anymore, and he's in you instead, or?
It has never happened before. That's basically I'm the first one that have this strong a connection with an entity,
Okay.
which is why there's no research on it. So I'm
And
basically the guinea pig, so to speak.
Ulan and Serafini, you both remember
I
your
know
discussion.
you said guinea pig, but I heard it is guinea pig.
Yeah.
And
You-
I just
You do both remember your discussion with Air, who
Yeah.
was the one that told you about this way of pulling him through not by physical means, but by mental means, of pulling through both his consciousness and his spirit,
Yeah.
which will then
yeah.
tug through his physical form.
I remember the air conversation, but it's like whether has she like been sneaking off into a room and doing a ritual every night, or is she like?
It seems that it's been the meditation that's been pulling it across.
Right.
The question is, can it pull across the physical form? That you're not sure.
Did he ever tell you how he got captured, or why?
He doesn't. They don't know.
Pyrox doesn't.
He doesn't know, or he hasn't told you.
Told me that they don't know.
Yeah. Right.
You've had enough discussion with him that from this point, he doesn't remember.
Okay.
Doesn't know, doesn't remember. Kind of the same thing.
Well. There's a slight difference, because if he doesn't remember, then that suggests that maybe something's happened to his memory, whereas if he doesn't know, he was just like randomly abducted. Like that.
Doesn't remember. Yep. There's definitely something going on in the fire plane
Aye.
relating to Pyrox, but
I just wish we knew more about what was happening.
I wished so too, but visiting the fire plane is not that easy.
Sounds like fun though.
Sounds like another dwarf that would
Well-
love to go there.
I know of. There's a chance that at the fire temple, they might know a way to get there. Or at least they might know why Ifriti might be trying to steal energy from a giant fireball. But not much we can do about that now. I just don't like the idea of going in. We have just too many unknowns on our plate right now.
Wait,
I wish we actually had some solid answers about anything. To be honest,
oh,
like,
I
but, yeah, I don't know.
I'm doing this research, and yeah,
I
there's
know.
always more questions than answers.
I know. I hate mysteries. Like, I mean, I know this is a small, teeny weeny, insignificant thing, but like, do either of you know anything about Aaron? Like,
No.
what's even his last name?
I don't know. I always thought clerics gave
Or-
up their
Or
surnames.
is maybe, but like that means if he gave it up, that means he had one before.
True.
Like, how do we know that his real name isn't like Aaron McMurderson or something? You know, or he could be a secret prince, or we found like Ethelmore. We didn't even know that he was a drow, and then he turns out to be some kind of like herald for the coming of Lilith or Lolth or whatever her name is. I don't know.
Lilith is a demon.
And a tiefling. Is more what I was thinking.
No. The coming of the tiefling. Oh no.
I just wish we had answers. I don't like
Not knowing.
not knowing. I've spent too long not knowing, and I'm sick and tired of it.
Well, we cannot know everything. And
But what we know is practically nothing. I mean, we're sat here, teetering above a mystery that I can't even fathom, and we're not even sure how to sneak past it safely. I mean, how are we supposed to?
I don't think there's. Yeah, everything will be unpredictable with this ley line.
You three notice that Junga, who's been doing watch, is coming over to you guys.
Hey there.
Staying awake, are we?
Not voluntarily. I think we're having a wee bit of trouble sleeping.
Well, make sure you get some sleep, considering what is happening tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen, but I prefer to keep my eyes open. So,
Yeah.
rest is needed.
Bearing in mind that we may all die tomorrow, Seren, do you need to go spend the night with Senegir?
If you don't mind.
Just keep the volume down, alright?
Considering we're all on the same
That's
platform,
not what I meant, dear.
please, no.
I have some. So okay, maybe not much. Never mind. I'm just gonna go sit with him.
What is troubling you, Dragonborn?
Oh, just everything.
He just raises an eyebrow.
Well,
The unpredictableness of the ley line.
well, not just the, not
Well,
that. I just don't like not knowing.
The unknown. One of the reasons I joined the group. Group, I guess. It's a specialty, unfortunately.
It seems to be ours as well.
Well,
I don't even know who I am. Is the problem.
You're a Dragonborn, and I believe your name is Ulan.
Well, okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Well, the thing is, I'm not 100% sure my name's Ulan. I mean, it's the name that I was given, and the name that I've always known myself by, but I only
So-
recently encountered my birth mother. I
And-
found out my my father is some kind of mutant dragon psychopath,
Oh,
and I
wonderful.
don't really even know why I'm here.
Does that matter?
I'm not sure.
There we go then. Uncertainty is also a good thing. It means you have options. One of the things that we have to choose between. I decided to come down here and make sure that the world didn't end from some terrible thing.
Plan.
It just doesn't seem like a choice.
It's always a choice. I could be running through the jungle, catching prey and taking it as my own.
And I could be sitting in the peace and quiet of a temple at the top of a mountain.
We made choices.
How do you know it was the right one?
None of them are the right choice. And that is what makes fate so interesting. All of them are the same. None of them are the same. But all of them lead to a direction where we need to go. The future. And down there is unfortunately our future now.
But how do you know if the choices that you're making are making things better or worse?
You don't.
What do you do if they are making them worse?
You wake up the next day and you see if you've made it slightly better. You saved the person, made sure a town didn't crumble, make sure some terrible cult didn't finish what they were doing, rescue an artifact. Actually, I'm just talking about things I've done. What I mean to say is, worry less about what could happen and instead figure out what you will be doing. And what we will be doing is making it out alive. Good.
That's something to hope for, I suppose.
Well, I don't like the dark, so I want to at least see the sun once more.
You might be heading in the wrong direction for that.
Responsibilities first, my friend.
Well, that's a choice.
He gives you both a nod and then carries around the perimeter.
Ulan,
Yeah?
it is not the name that makes the person.
I know.
I gave you a hug.
Oh, did you?
No, I do give you
Oh,
a
you
hug.
give me a hug. I hug Seraphina back. You should go do some meditation and get some sleep, alright?
I know.
I'm gonna keep watch a little longer.
Alright. But you will go to sleep eventually.
Yeah, but I'm
Okay.
gonna, before I go to sleep, I'm gonna, like, head over to the edge of the platform and just sort of, like, sit on the edge looking down at the ley line for a bit. And just
Alright.
contemplate the complexities of the cosmos.
As you do that, Seraphina, give me your wisdom check.
If I can find it.
Alright, nice. So, as everyone goes into sleep, Ulan, you meditating what could be ahead, what this is, and what you are, I guess. The blurriness of your tiredness comes over, and all of you feel yourselves almost kind of just drop into nothingness.
And everyone's dead.
All of you feel that pulsing that you're all very familiar with as the essence of the ley line radiating outwards, emitting this reverberation which pulses through all of you once again. and you feel yourselves come to consciousness, but not to the step that you were all resting upon, not even to the step you were previously by the ley line. Instead, you're all in a state of floating. There's nothing below you, above you. However, you do notice to the left and right small essences about the same size as a football, but glowing of different shades of light. You look around to see yourself, and you see the same thing, just this glowing ball of light that seems to be wherever you're looking. As you look ahead into the darkness, objects and light seem to come into focus, as you see almost like constellations in the sky. However, none of these look familiar to you. Some of them are completely obscure, some of them are far larger than anything, almost like the ley line you saw previously. There's this giant beacon of light, not like a sun, very much different. It still has that very odd coloration to it, as several other large structures of rock seem to come into view as well, almost like they were always there but you never really noticed them. As you look around further, you see more of these large structures, some of them even having buildings on them, almost like castles created on top of them. Most of them, however, crumbled and broken in half, with the towers broken in on themselves, or even chunks of it floating around, almost like an orbit. You see what could have been a temple or some type of pantheon structure also comes into focus. It seems so far away, but the clarity of the detail on it is visible to all of you. And you see below you a deep web of bright light which encompasses the entirety of your vision. And it scatters all the way to the horizon, to your left and to your right, of these lights which all interconnect and weave together. And below that, you can all just about make out a dark abyss, which there is no light. It is complete blackness. There is no sound. There is no light. But it is covered by this web. And then you look above, and you see a very similar sight. A web of light all across, almost like a net. And behind that, instead of darkness, bright white light. There is no imperfections, just pure white light, which seems to almost blind you, but it doesn't seem to hurt you as you look upon it. And you can see, as time seems to be frozen but also moving at a rapid pace, that both the light and the darkness seem to be pushing against this mesh, this web of light from above and below you, as it seems to be almost pressing against it and squeezing its way past, as you see bulges seem to rise out and fall down in between. And as it does, it seems to almost shape into these tight and almost compressed balls as they begin drooping down, almost like water, but almost like syrup, as it begins slowly oozing out, and above, almost like there's no gravity. And as it does, these oozes of liquid seem to separate from the masses and begin floating up towards you. And as they get closer, each one begins to form. It seems to twist, and it begins to take on shapes as you see maybe a hand begin to reach out of it. A wing seems to stretch out from one side, but never for too long. It seems to almost flicker into existence and then back out as it pulled back into whatever this orb of light or darkness is. And as it gets closer, the size wasn't really measurable from the distance they are, but as they get closer, they are gigantic. They must be the size of possibly maybe an entire continent. You're not sure. The scale is something you can't recognize, and as they approach, you are not sure if they're touching you or if they're still far away, but as they approach, darkness again, and you will fall back into sleep. And then we wake to some type of day. You're not sure if time's passed or not, but you all feel rested for the most part, as you see both Ro, Booker, and Lady Sherwood have all woken up as well, and seem to be stirring to some level of rest as well. As you look down, you see the pulsing of the ley line once more. Exactly as it was before.
So there was not only me that had a super weird dream, right? Like serious, that hella creepy.
What was that?
I would guess it's an effect of the ley line.
That was definitely something not of this plane. I want to say that was the astral sea, but
it did look kind of constellation-y.
Yes.
But what was the whole weird glowy thing with the wing things? And also, are we just going to acknowledge how weird it was that we all had the same dream, and that we all woke up knowing exactly what everyone's on about?
I'm going to agree with Miss Serafina. There was definitely some effect of being this close to the ley line. I thought we were out of its effect radius, but definitely has more of an influence than I thought. Fortunately, nothing bad has happened, but that is definitely odd.
Well, if it was the ley line, it does kind of prove that, prove our theories that it is connected to all planes. If it was the astral plane.
Either that, or there's some kind of sentience that doesn't want us to go past, and it's trying to wig us out.
The net could be a various amount of things. It could be the ley lines. That's definitely a question. However, it could be something else. The black and white is pretty obvious in terms of what they could be. Both the negative and the positive planes of existence. I will keep an eye. We have more pressing things to deal with. We can think on this another point, but for now, we have a ley line to get past. Miss Sherwood, have you prepared the spell? I have, and I think we should be getting ready. It will last for 10 minutes. However, I'm not sure what effect it will have with its proximity to the ley line.
Okay.
The concern will be how far down we will drop. If it's within 50 feet, I can possibly reactively be able to cast them. But when I do, I will lose concentration on the gate, which means everyone has to pass before me.
Well, that's wonderful. Who's going first?
I'll go first because I should be able to. Well, are we gonna go from closer or are we gonna go from higher up?
The concern is if we go from higher up, we may be too close on the other side to this area of
We've
influence.
already done the preparation and tested we can. If it doesn't get strong while we're sleeping,
I'll
let's do
go
it.
first
We planned
because
yesterday.
we know that my abilities aren't affected. So if there's anything on the other side, I'm going to be the best equipped to deal with it.
And you could possibly make sure it's safe.
That's the plan, yeah.
The fall, however, will be the concern. As
Not for me.
well, for
I'm good at you're at catching people.
Well, that was my other thinking as well. If need be, I can try and catch people.
Out,
I would suggest sending Senegir after me.
out of game comment. Did
hard.
Ulan have the 2 sending stones on him?
No, I put everything except
Oh,
the.
So he would have taken off the pauldron.
So yeah, I took off the pauldron and I took off the sending stones.
okay.
It might be wise. We're gonna end up taking our bag of holding with us anyway. So if anything happens to it, something happens to it that can't be helped. So perhaps if everybody puts their magical items in the bag of holding, and I'll take it through with me when I go.
I believe you also have a portable hull.
Well, that's also true.
But if the bag of holding suddenly disappears, everything we have will disappear.
But that will happen if the bag of holdings disappear, then all of our items are going to become benign and non-magical anyway. So.
If it's an individual effect on every single individual item, then we have more chance of keeping them if we actually don't put them all in one place.
It's a gamble, really.
Well, no, if the bag of holding becomes unenchanted, it just spews out its contents.
We.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There would be a rain of money.
we
It
actually
would, but
don't know because them can have a different. Yeah, that's how the bag normally would react, but again, the ley line is unpredictable.
You could throw it into another dimension for all we know, or to one of the planes of existence, or
Could be stuck in a pocket dimension. Something.
well, that would be the best option, really. If it's a pocket dimension, you can get back to one.
But well, the thing is, like, all of our money is gonna be a problem anyway. So if the bag ceases to function, all of that stuff is gonna spew out. So yeah, I mean, you can keep your stuff on you if you want and risk it, but
Or you can put them in the bag of holding and risk it.
yeah. But like if you
It's a
keep
gamble.
if you keep all of your stuff on you, then there is a very high likelihood that at least one thing is gonna get fucked up. Whereas if we put everything in the bag of holding, then there's a 50-50 chance that nothing will get fucked up.
Or 50% chance that everything we have is gonna disappear
Wait.
with the bag of holding somewhere.
Yeah, but I mean,
Just a question then. Do we know if it have something to do with the user, you know? Would
seem-
I be
remember
better
that
being
the
black magic?
The items might still get affected, and
In
even
the-
if they are back in the
If it's something to do with a dimension, I don't think it will affect the dimension itself, but I guess the access to it.
so that we might get cut off from the stuff that's in the bag of holding, but the stuff won't get magically nullified. But if we go in wearing all of our stuff, something
can-
almost definitely will.
That's really putting all our eggs in a basket and hope that the best outcome is that either everything goes fine or all
But
our
we're
super amazing
guaranteed
gear is
to
stuck in another dimension.
We're
That we don't
definitely
know.
100% gonna lose some stuff.
Well, that
Karan
is
told his lucky dice, well, it's your time to fail.
again if we get too close. It's
Because can I check my? Can someone check my braces and see if they're still disenchanted?
I
Alright, I need to.
can do.
What the fuck is
Ubo
Iris
is
doing?
D.
your bird is going crazy.
Yeah, well, she's my bird. That should, by definition, tell you why.
Well, yeah.
She's taking exception to her toys today.
BD, I assume you gave me back the dark vision stone.
Well, okay.
Wow.
BD is not answering me.
How rude. Yeah.
I know.
Huh?
Because
Did you give me back the dark vision stone?
If you ask for it, then I give it. I don't even remember I have it. Oh yeah, Aaron doesn't either.
At this point, you don't need it, but yes, depending on who has it. I imagine it's probably in the portal at some point, or the back of holding. Sorry.
It was one of the magicite stones we kept out
Okay.
because we needed to be able to. Well, it might be in the bag of holding because Aaron had it last, and he was the one with the bag of holding.
Nah, put it in my pocket.
Well, I would ask about
Does
it.
that mean it
since-
fell out when your trousers fell out?
I was weighing it down.
That was
That's
it.
when they only got up to his knees
But-
with the wind.
I would ask about it to make sure where it is.
Here it is. I'll hand it back.
But
Well, yeah.
your braces,
Aye.
as because covered his eyes again, and it's got this slightly purple glow. It's not as the same bright green glow, but seems to have some effect on his eyes.
I just have to say, every time you say he closes his eye, I see you do the dramatic one hand over his eyes and the other hand way back in the air.
Well, he kind of does it on both eyes, but yeah, it's the. But yeah, he looks. For the time being, there is no effect.
You keep saying for the time being.
Well, as I said, the ley line is unpredictable. I'm not sure if it's temporarily or if it has done it permanently.
I was wearing two things and I lost one of them. I'm just
That's a
saying,
50-50.
if you want to risk all of your stuff, then fair enough.
No.
I think either way we're risking everything.
Yeah, it's a risk
I-
either way, but it's.
Is there some way of?
Yeah. Best outcome, the bag of holding does not take any. Nothing happens. Second best outcome is that it just closes off and we cannot access the dimension for now.
Which,
So-
which means that we lose access to all of our money.
Yeah, well, and generally everything that's in it.
Yeah, but the money's the only stuff that's useful.
The
My
magical items that would be in it?
I take
What
out
magical
my
items are in there?
spell book
Well,
out.
if we put
Oh, okay.
anything that in
Have you been dumping random crap in there? Okay.
Yeah, all the backpacks are in there, I think.
Okay. I thought they went in the portable hole.
Oh, sorry, bags
Yeah,
are in the portable hole, but some things were put into the bag of holding.
What's the difference between the portable hole and the bag of holding?
Apart from them being larger, well, different sizes of dimensions, they're pretty much the same.
Claustrophobia.
Actually, sorry,
that's
one-
say the portable hole.
One does have gravity, the other one doesn't.
There is the small slate, and this is out of game because that's the one we stole from Ifilmos there. Soul is a strong term.
Yeah.
We borrowed it accidentally.
But yeah, I mean,
And there's the green dragon magicite stone.
there's
Oh,
so
and the tome of Clearfold.
well, yeah, but there's the times and stuff, but they can't
have
be
a-
used. They can't be used for 100 years anyway. So
The portable hole can be affected too,
Yes.
and
That would rip everything into the astral plane stuff, probably.
Oh, fuck it then. Let's just keep our stuff on us and hope for the best.
One thing I have noticed since we've been doing these tests, it seems to be affecting when the ley line pulses. I'm not sure what that does in terms of helping us, but
it pulsed at exactly the time when the stuff was level with it.
yes.
So it seems almost like it's pulsing in reaction to the stuff being in range.
Can we get out of range beforehand? I don't know.
So
Well,
as soon
like,
as you come out
we're
of the
assuming
hole,
that it's
die.
even going to pulse when we're in the magic tunnel.
That is correct.
It might not even pulse. I'm going through first anyway. I'll go through wearing all of my stuff because that's what Aaron wants me to do, and if all of my stuff gets magically disenchanted, it's Aaron's fault. Cast the spell, let's go.
Well, you do it at your own risk. I'm keeping my stuff on me. I'm not putting it in the bag.
No, that's what I'm doing. I'm keeping my stuff on me because that's what you think is best. So
Well, we first have to get down
because
again.
it's disenchanted.
Sure.
We have to still get down, so that will take some time, but yes.
Yeah, I have 3. Oh dear, fuck God. And
Let's just go. We've been discussing this for like 3 hours now.
Yes. Okay then.
it's more I'm trying to make a decision whether to take an item out and then to stay because it can have a very bad effect.
Considering
either
the people
way.
we have, who would be best to carry people?
Senegir and Seren are the strongest, I would think.
Senator is not very strong.
Is he not?
No.
Alright.
Ithelmore is very strong.
Oh yes, okay, true.
Ithamore has gauntlets of ogre
That's
strength.
true.
Then
Yeah.
yes,
So that's
she
just
For
Thor
now.
and I, basically.
casts
For
it.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she casts it on herself, Seren, and Ithamore. And the three of them begin to lift off the ground. Alright, with this we should be able to get everyone down a little bit faster.
Is the angle from where we are to the platform we're aiming to a 45-degree angle? Like, is it?
Yeah, considering all the steps are
I just
50-50,
jump-
yeah.
I just jump off the edge of the platform. And it goes down.
Well, that's helpful.
You know, you're starting to just feel like monks can do anything at this point, you know?
They're definitely useful.
Yes, they are.
Alright then, let's carry everyone else down, and hopefully we should be just out of range. Let's go to the first platform, just as a preparation.
Alright.
And,
I went for the other one, so I'll just wait for you guys over there.
oh, you went to the... okay.
Well, yeah, because you didn't say that until after I jumped, so...
Oh, true.
Yeah, I took 2 things out of the bag that I was not carrying for, but now I'm carrying it. One of the things I either way had to take out, which is my spell book.
Savant will put Rose in a portable hole before you leave.
Ah, okay. Oh, nice. So yeah, Elon goes down. Everyone else is slowly carried down, 3 at a time. I actually can't. Yeah, Seren actually with enough strength can probably carry Ro by herself. Actually,
Yep.
yeah, actually shouldn't be too much of a problem. So yeah, with that, it's actually much faster considering 2 people are relatively strong. Ithamore can literally carry Seraphina and Savant in one go, speeding things up.
Barely breaking a sweat, even.
Yeah, as you all make it down to the platform that you were previously on. Elan, you've landed.
Do I need to roll a thingy again to see if your stuff is
At this point, no.
Oh, okay.
It seems to have dimmed, definitely since yesterday, as there's still the thrumming of the vroom, but the actual size of the line itself seems to have thinned. Originally it was going from about 50 to 100, now it's more like 25 to 50.
I have all of my stuff on right now, so I'm going to use the shoulder pauldron thingy to let Seren and Seraphina know that it's like we should go quickly. It's less wonky now.
I'll relay that the ley line is smaller and that.
No,
that
no,
would be
no,
the-
no. I said that the ley line is less wonky.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I will relay that the ley line is less wonky, and now is the most opportune moment to go.
Well, everyone can see this, so yes.
Our eyes do work, yes.
And
Well.
Ulan is currently not glowing from his magical items at this point, so it's not too bad.
We're not covered in glitter right now.
He's not covered in glitter at this point, considering you have, I think, 3 magical items.
Me? Pauldron.
Pauldron,
with-
staff,
Well,
Alcove as well.
where is the-
Or
I guess the stuff is on my back, yeah, and my pendant, and my belt.
Yeah, so 3, yeah. Yeah.
And,
None of it's actually glowing at this point.
and I've got a +1 dagger.
Oh, and the +1 dagger.
Oh, in fact, I've got 2 +1 daggers.
Oh,
Um,
to keep them out. Okay.
and a javelin of lightning. But
And the javelin of lightning.
I would let Aaron hold on to the dark vision stone.
Okay.
who's got the bag of holding? Has Aaron still got that?
I think he gave it back to you, but
Did he?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Do you have it also?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's
I guess
money.
I guess I have.
Because I did hear something about him handing it back to you.
Okay.
Yes. So
Well, would you say that?
as you can all see, it's
First time?
definitely, it's still pulsating the same rate. However, the actual size of it has definitely diminished since yesterday. You're not sure if it was during the night, if it's been recent, but it's definitely thinned. It seems to have some type of fluctuation in just size as well. However, you can still see it, the pulse is still happening about the same rate. And the objects orbiting around, there definitely seems less of them.
Oh, okay.
Originally, it was more like there was around 20, 30 items floating around of both objects and these plates. Now it's more like 18 to 20.
When you say it's pulsing, is it pulsing like a heartbeat?
It's not really a heartbeat. It's more like almost like electricity when it's going through something. It's like voodoo,
Okay.
voodoo. Almost like a pump, more like than a heart. There is no direct rhythm, but there is definitely a interval in between, which is, it's not directly static, but there definitely is an interval between beats.
Okay.
And at this point, you've all noticed that apart from the ones where it did beat rapidly when something came too close, all of them definitely had a specific, like a 2-3 seconds in between intervals. But as soon as, for example, the Lightstone or the Berserker Act went past, there was almost an immediate pulse again.
Okay.
So you're all on the platform. All right. So we'll make our way across then. It seems fine for the time being. As soon as I open the gate, the 2 monks will go through, followed by the rest of us. I'll follow behind, and if needed to, I will recast Fly on everyone again, or as many people as possible, which hopefully will give us ample time to actually get to one of the platforms below. Okay?
So some of us that you cannot make fly should maybe hold on to somebody who.
That might actually might work, yes. Specifically, the lightest of us. Miss Serafina, Mr. Savant, possibly even Aaron as well. Hold on to someone. That way we can at least make sure that we get most of us in the area that I can target. All right. Okay. As all of you make your way across to the same platform as Ulan, it's still fluctuating the same rate it hasn't increased nor decreased. As you move your way across, the flight spell dissipates, and both Ithamore and Seren, you're already on the platform, so you don't feel anything different. And I believe it's only an action. Yes, it is. Good. And with a sweeping hand motion and several almost glyphs form in the air, Daniela begins forming this almost archway, huge 10-foot archway onto the platform. And as she finishes it and it touches the side, you all hear a rush of energy as the archway, which was just a beam of light, forms into a purple gateway. Seren, you're probably not at the edge, so you don't know where it comes out. But it's this now purple archway. Alright, this will hold for 10 minutes. I have to concentrate on it, so let's hope nothing happens. Mr. Ulan, Mr. Senager, if you would like to go first.
Alright, folks, see you on the other side. And Ulan does like a salute and then jumps into the portal.
You do the D-Day airborne salute as you jump out of the
Almost
plane.
as instantly as you went through it, you instantly reappear on the other side. You're in the air, just behind the, just below the ley line. As you can now see the light is now behind you instead of in front of you, as it's just darkness below you. You have 60 feet of vision, so you can't see anything technically below you. Actually, no, there's light. There's light coming from the ley line, so you can still see some of these platforms below you. And then your slow fall triggers, as does Senager's, as you both begin floating down. Who's falling behind? Actually, I'm imagining everyone else is falling behind while holding on.
Yeah, I will
2,
probably
3.
take the halfling and the gnome because I'm pretty sure I can carry them both through this.
Oh yeah, yeah. Your strength is like 18. Yeah, no, you can totally.
Yeah.
As does Ithamore behind, and again, as soon as you step through, you almost exit at in the same second, and just go into free fall.
Awesome.
As does behind you, Aaron. Who are you holding on to?
Whoever was left.
Ithamore?
Okay.
Probably Ithamore.
Ithamore, Ro, Booker,
Doesn't matter, really.
Younger as well.
Whoever
Okay. In succession as well. Vroom, 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 vroom. All of you come out, and you, apart from the 2 monks, everyone else is in free fall.
And they overtake us
Relatively quickly, yeah. They're going like double your speed, I think. Pretty much free fall is like 60 feet per second.
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
free fall is like 20?
Something like that.
Something like
20 feet.
that. As soon as you all go through, how high can she do it? Yeah, she could do it as a 5th level spell. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, it's 23 people.
Do you have Featherfall spell? That would be cheaper.
What spell?
Featherfall?
Featherfall. What's the range on Featherfall? I believe it's touch. No, it's 60 feet.
Yeah,
It's actually 60 feet.
Really
Featherfall
odd
is a
if it
spell
was
you can
touch.
do by falling down.
Yeah, the problem is those Featherfall, you can't have control of where you're going, which is what right now is needed. So she casts it on Seren, Ithamore, and on Ro, because those 3 are the strongest. As soon as you fall, you feel yourself falling, but you have control over your fall. As you feel lighter, and you're still holding onto the 2 of them, but you can control where you're going now, Seren.
Gotcha.
As does Ithamore grabs Aaron, as well as probably Junga, considering he's probably lighter. Actually, no, probably Booker, actually. And then Ro grabs the last 2 of Junga and Daniel. And you will begin descending down behind, in front of the 2 monks, actually. Alright. Okay. As you've fallen probably around 100 feet at this point, you actually hear the pulsing actually double as it, and those not even looking at the light, you just see that the light is expanded slightly. And anyone that does look back, you can see that it's actually expanded partially.
It's angry again.
Great.
Not at the same size as it was previously, though. It's definitely still there.
They didn't go full wonk.
Now it's more like 50 to maybe 70 feet wide now. It's not as big as it was previously.
It almost behaves like water.
Almost, yeah. It's very fluid in its nature.
Yeah, like a stream that, like with rain up, you know. Oh my god, I can't talk. You know what I mean, though. It's like upriver, there's a storm, and it takes a while for it to trickle down, basically, to where we are. But
very similar.
it's-
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Like, bleh.
As yeah, it seems like there's been some influx that has increased the density of the stream, and it's just expanded ever so slightly as you all begin to descend in a controlled fashion. Ulan, you have pretty much control of where you're falling.
Yep.
Senator, not so much.
I can fall into him and push him in the right direction now.
Yeah, he's behind you, but you could easily reach up and kind of pull him in your direction a little bit more as you all begin to descend. As you two are behind, you're basically following the flying people at this point. Ro, who's one of the flying people, should we land or should we actually just keep going?
How long can
Well,
they keep this up? I mean, the fly lasts for, I think you said, an hour yesterday?
yes, it lasts for an hour. I don't actually know how far they can fall.
I can fall indefinitely.
Senator, on the other hand,
Yeah, Senju not so much.
Do you want to take the two little ones and...
Wait,
Actually,
can't
can you
you-
catch up with us?
they're
Sorry, everybody.
what is your strength? 18, and your carrying capacity is what? Just so we can do some quick
full
math.
Carrying capacity is 324.
Down to 24. No, you could carry 2 humanoids.
I have a question for Jace.
Yeah.
Can't you just pick up instead Senger and just fall with him instead?
Yeah.
Can I? Yeah, can I carry? a person?
You still have a +1 in strength, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could definitely at least.
I can like help slow his fall.
Yeah, you've got enough to actually hold him at least. Carrying is a little hard, but holding, yeah, you could definitely like hold him for a couple seconds, let him free fall for himself a bit, and then hold him again. Yeah. So yeah,
Basically,
I'll just like get underneath him and then like act as a brake.
sure.
You basically.
Thank you for
spotted
flying,
him.
Saren Airlines. Please make sure your overhead compartment is neatly closed.
All right, then we can carry on going. Everyone, hold on, and everyone continues to fall down into the darkness. Is anyone going to cast light as you're falling, or you're just going to go into darkness?
I will cast light.
Okay. As yeah, you don't need to concentrate, so you can cast light on, I guess, a stone, or you're just gonna do it on like a headband or something, or.
I will do it on my right hand,
Okay, sure.
so that I'm kind of like iron fisting.
Yeah.
That sounded way more sexual than it was meant to.
Again, it's not a lot of light, as it's only one, and I think it's like a 20/20. And considering the size of this, the Titan steps, yeah, it's like 400 feet wide. So yeah, you still can't really see the edges. It does, however, increase your dark vision partially because of the light. So you can see some things more now, like the edges of the steps as you're going down.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I just need to be able to see well enough to miss things.
Yeah. However, you do feel the gust of wind more than everyone else. As you're going further down, they're a lot more co-current and often However, they're not as strong. These seem to be more just very simple updrafts. Not as strong as the previous ones. You do still feel, however, some of the very heavy ones that blow up. You are slow falling, so it does slow you down a little bit more. As you kind of catch a little bit of an updraft. As you keep falling, though, it goes on and on. As you reach close to the 20-minute mark, all of you can eventually see another speck of light below. Nowhere near as strong as it was when you were approaching the ley line.
God damn, it's gonna be another fucking ley line.
That's the entrance.
What?
Prepare yourselves. The ones that flying, you guys are in the head. And as you get closer to this light, which opens up, it expands ever so quickly into almost a conal shape, which expands outwards. Which, considering the size of this tunnel it was already, the edges just disappear into blackness on either side. And below, you see the most strangest sight that you ever saw. You've been in the Underdark now for several days. You've passed through the mists, which were very much barren and very much the epitome of death and blandness. As you begin to exit out of this tunnel, you see colour. And not just specks of colour like the mushrooms that you saw above. This is a flood of colour, of greens and reds and oranges and browns even, of not just rock but of plant life, as you see a forest below you. And the odd thing is, the only reason you can tell its colour is because the whole forest is glowing ever so light with this phosphorescent, almost turquoisey colour that is just giving off this hum of light. And with that light you can see almost like a mist, but it's not like the mist you saw above, which were very much a simple fog cloud of condensation. It's green, which immediately is off-putting. However, you still have several hundred feet below you before you reach this area. And just briefly looking to the left and the right of this forest, which stretches for several hundred feet, maybe thousands, you're not really sure, because as it disappears into the darkness either side, this cavern or chamber or whatever this is down here, you are now very much in the Deeplands. Whoever that person was, your beholder friend, was right. We have to steer clear. Someone tell your friends above that they have to redirect themselves.
Yeah, I was about to ask if the mist is dispersed.
Just looking at it,
Is there a clear area to redirect to? Because I'm assuming the pauldrons, I'm assuming he'll hear me if I talk to Ulan over the pauldron. Because it's mental communication, right?
That one
not audible.
is.
Or is
You
that one audible?
still have to talk into it. It does actually. Sorry, it is still very much audible as well. So yes.
But does
Okay.
the noise come out of the pauldron, or does it get project into my brain?
It comes out.
Like with the sending stones.
Yeah, the sending stones are the same thing. Comes audible.
Wait, that's not how we've worked it before. Because
No.
everyone's been really confused about the one-sided conversations.
Oh no, sorry. So yeah, the sending stones that you guys have specifically are projected into your head, but you speak into it. The pauldrons are audible both sides,
Gotcha.
Okay.
as they're very much like walkie-talkies.
Okay. Well, I'll give it a try anyway.
Okay.
And say we're redirecting.
As you guys you were a little bit far behind considering the speed difference. You're
Wait. Hang on, Senagir. I think Seren says she has an erection.
Jesus. Again? We can't hear each other, can we?
you can hear each other enough. Like
Hello?
it's coming out of your pauldron. You just have to shout a little.
Hello? What was that?
Yep.
Say again.
Redirect. We need to avoid the spore cloud.
What? Be direct, and then something about s'mores.
As Ro
Redirect.
begins looking around, tell him to head.
Seren, I
Right
can't
direction.
understand what you're saying, but if you could light up a lightstone and wave it around, we'll try and aim for wherever you are.
Can't they see us? With the like.
Only even like a 60 foot.
Yeah, and even though the glow isn't very bright, it's lighting up the area where these trees are, but nowhere near enough to light the entire cavern.
It's the moving, easy to notice light that will be helpful. Because
Oh.
remember that this is like a massive space that I'm trying to spot you in.
I
And
turn on the lightstone.
yeah,
Thank you.
Sherwood also lights up her staff.
Alright. I aim and I try and land as gracefully as possible, which is probably not very.
Okay. You have to keep on going at a diagonal angle coming out, which is helped by the conal of the thing.
When I get, does it look like I'm not going to make it?
You can. As you guys keep coming out, you notice. Fortunately, because you're flying, you can slow your fall down. But as you reach down, you see these black plates that are in the air. And because you're flying, you can stop your descent as you see these plates in front of you. And as you approach them, they look similar. As you got confused for a second because they were just in the air below you. But as you get closer, these are the same metal plates that are in the walls of the Titan steps. The metal plates are in the air, and there's no ley line, which is why are they floating? And as you guys are flying over them, and Ulan and Seneja are falling down slowly, you notice that the runes on them are glowing underneath. And Savant,
Yeah.
you're being held by Seren, so you can notice that the ones underneath these actually have the sigil of lift or luft. Because giants.
So they speak German or Swedish? Because air is luft.
And there's actually several of them as you notice and look underneath these. And they seem to actually, not completely, but partially keep the same spiral. However, there's only maybe about 4 or 5 of these plates, and they descend into the forest.
I'm gonna shout out. It seems like the giants or titans, whatever lived there before, put out some runes with air or whatever those the runes are. He points at them. Seems to be glowing and activated by and using some airflow elements. That's why maybe I don't know. They're active. I can see that.
That would explain how they actually got into the tunnel, considering, well, there's a lot of empty space from here to the floor.
Well, I don't recommend staying on the ruins anyway. Probably not the nicest stand on.
And Ulan, you begin to descend out of this conal area, and you can see the 2 light sources, and then this entire expanse of this forest, which is giving off this glow and is covered in this kind of greenish mist. And you can see the 2 lights, which at this point have illuminated several platforms. that look kind of janky, but several of them are high enough that you could be pushing it with your descent to get out of the forest. Using probably one of them.
I aim for whichever one is highest.
Mm.
And like, because we can always jump down to a lower one if need be.
Yeah. And you can see that even though there's several of these missing, they all keep the spiral formation, and they do slightly expand as well to match the conal shape.
Okay.
Which gives you a good enough distance, which if you're at a 45-degree angle, you could probably make it out of the forest. Just probably. Senator is going to have to be carried you, because he's not going to be able to make it.
Is there anything I can throw a grappling hook at?
Apart from the group? Not really.
Can I not like throw it across a platform and? Or are they out of the forest?
The rest of the group are currently floating near the platforms. They're waiting for you guys to come down.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll just land on a platform then.
Okay. So yeah, the rest of the people flying, I imagine you guys want to rest your arms, actually, considering. Ro does, at least. So she actually lands on the same platform as well.
Adriano is not going to be able to come back.
Okay.
Just messaged me.
Fair enough. And as you can see them falling down with Ulen's lit up hand, you can tell this platform is not really steady, but is keeping place. And you can actually both hear and see that whatever was causing that updraft is also keeping these up.
Right, so it's the little blue runes, is it?
As you get on the platform, you hear this kind of almost humming sound coming from the bottom side of the steps. Just and as the slowly gliding Ulan and Senator come down and land on the same platform, Rose just stretching her arms after carrying 2 people for 20 minutes.
Eh.
Yeah, you were carrying the 2 light ones, so.
It was like carrying 2 very heavy soccer ball, not soccer balls, American footballs.
Yeah, just 2 footballs under the arm. Well, that makes it easier. Good thing we didn't use the gliders. That would have been bad.
Yeah.
And she kind of starts looking around in the direction, and now that you're on this platform, all of you can see that it isn't just a cave that just goes left and right. This expands in all 4 directions. And you can see that there's both stalactites and stalagmites coming both up and down, which is surprising because the forest below you seems relatively large. It seems like a standard forest you would see above ground, which would be about 20 to 30 feet high. The stalactites and stalagmites are close to maybe 50 feet in length, and some of them seem to actually even be touching from the ceiling to the floor, which, now that you've got a kind of a scale of this, the cabin itself, the ceiling must be close to around maybe 800 feet high, just to touch where the entrance to the Titan steps are. And then it just expands outwards in every direction, and then just disappears into darkness. And as Rose just looking around and kind of squinting her eyes, we need to go that way. And she just points into darkness. Saren and Aaron, actually, you 2 with the highest perceptions, give me perception checks as she's looking in this direction.
Don't think Aaron got the dark vision. Really?
Oh, does he not? Okay.
I thought you said that Aaron was going to
He
keep it.
got the stone.
Oh, okay. Aaron, do you want to use the stone for a charge so you can actually see in the dark and are not
Nah,
blind?
It's not mine, so I wouldn't use something that's not mine.
Okay. Alright, so Saren, you can't really tell what she's looking at, but there's definitely shapes in that direction.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, every other direction is just blackness for you. You can see like stalagmites and stalactites in the darkness, but that's about it, and it just goes into darkness. This way, however, there is some shapes that you can see.
We're all grouped together, right?
Currently, yes.
Does someone have a light stone handy?
I'm using mine.
I'm gonna pull out my bow, and I'm gonna say light up some arrows.
What are we trying to do?
Well, I can make more light in that direction. It's like a light stone, but further away.
Well, the forest itself expands outwards to about 200, 300 feet in that direction. As
Which
it's
is about
currently,
how far I can shoot.
yeah. And what she was pointing at and what Saren you can see is about 500 feet out.
I think it's beyond the range of your bow.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying we shoot some like little stepping stones of light so that we can see where we're going.
Someone takes out the light crossbow. Want me to try?
Well,
Like,
Well,
if you want to,
do we
you know,
want to take a chance on hitting anything that might take it as a hostile action?
true.
exactly.
We know where we're going. We don't need to shoot anything.
Alright,
Save the shooting for if there's trouble.
alright, I won't help then.
Just make sure we don't fall into the gas. Don't want you guys hallucinating before we get there.
scarf up.
You guys, well, the 3 people flying still have about 40 minutes. And considering it's only about 500, you could probably make it pretty easily in less than 10, 15 minutes. The 2 of you gliding, however, yeah, you can make it just out of the forest area and out of the gas. The question is then you would have to walk the rest.
Wait, so... Okay, fine.
I can draw this picture.
Well, technically the rest of us can't stop where you can get to, and we can walk with you.
Yeah, if we have to, we can.
We'll hoof it, it's fine.
Just take a deep breath and don't breathe. Be fine.
You guys on this one, and you can see the forest. Yeah, it's below you there. And where you want to go is around about here. Sketching with paint. Alright. Will you be alright? As looks at you and Senator.
Yeah, well, we don't have an alternative, so...
Well,
Can we
We
come
can
back for them?
carry if we make a actually still have one of the gliders, I guess.
Well, what's the harm in walking?
Well, this is still the Underdark. Don't think it's all.
Do we know how the hallucination works? Do they not know what
No, we
is around
can
them?
fall past the gas,
Just
so it doesn't matter how it works.
yeah, just don't make too much noise, and we'll join you.
That'll be fine.
Alright, go first.
Well, actually, Senegal can't fall forwards like I can.
Hmm.
So, I guess that's a problem.
Can
one,
you
two,
carry
yeah.
the 2 little ones and still glide?
Can I carry the 2 little ones and still glide?
They're only around. Oh, they have all the gear.
I don't have all of it.
Savant will jump in the portable hole if it's needed.
Yeah, no, that seems unwise.
That sounds. Well, no, they're about 60, 70 pounds each.
I'm under 60.
Okay.
But
I'm doing averages here. So if you can carry around 120 pounds, yeah, you're fine.
No.
Oh. How much can you carry?
I can carry an additional 50 pounds.
All right. Take Serafina.
Why are we having to do this?
I don't know how is Santa gonna that.
Well, he can use a glider, like Roy just said.
Yeah.
It would be hard to sit one person, but he can do it.
Well, someone can help, but I don't know.
Yeah, you can manage. He's not dealing with any wind, so. And you guys all notice, apart from this platform that's causing the updraft, there isn't much of a wind blowing around. You
So the gas
see
isn't really
shifting of the
moving.
trees below you, but that doesn't seem to be from wind, as there's no crosswind, as you look around to left and right, and the only wind seems to be going up.
Okay. Let's
Alright.
do flying then.
Alright.
I
Row.
still recommend having like rope to us in case something like this.
Well, I've got a grappling hook that I can throw at you if need be.
Wait, who's gonna fall?
I don't. The safety for the person that doesn't fly.
Stop making concerns when there is none.
I guess.
She asked for the portable hull because that's where currently the two gliders are. Which Savant you have?
Yes.
Okay. She takes out one of the gliders and gives it to Senator, although it actually helps him untie.
You guys can fly faster than I fall, so I'll head off.
Alright. And she points again in the direction. Just go that way and just make sure you're out of the forest. And if anything talks to you from the forest, don't answer it. Now, get going.
Get a move.
See you down there. See you down there. We'll catch up.
Yeah, I head off. I run, jump, whatever.
Alright. Technically, some of you could follow him and go in a batch.
Well, they'll fly faster than I can move, though, so
Sure.
they'll overtake me.
They don't have to go the full speed, but yeah.
Well, some other not flying people could fly with Synergia because then the flying people don't have to carry that much weight.
Yes. And considering, yeah, Django will actually get off and let Ro just carry one person. If the mod doesn't mind. He's wearing the Ogre gauntlets, so. Actually, no, he's wearing a belt of giant strength, isn't he? So, yeah.
No,
Because,
I thought he
so-
had the gauntlets.
Oh, yeah, it's gauntlets. I can never remember which one he has. Yes.
Someone will help with the glider because gliders are fun,
Okay.
and he knows how to glide them.
3-man glider. Alright. Yeah. With that, the flight.
Off we go.
As the flying people take off after Ulan, giving a little bit of a head start, while the glider of Junga, Savant, and Senator take off. And with the extra boost from the updraft, yeah, you guys get a decent bit of airtime. And as you're descending, you don't weigh a lot as a group, the three of them, so they definitely don't fall as fast as going down the tunnel. They are about the same speed as... Actually, a little bit slower. They're only about 30 feet per round. But as they're going, the rest of you, as almost like a convoy, travel down into the darkness with this singular little bits of light coming from several of you with light.
I would have made sure that me and Aaron used the dark vision stone because we are going back into darkness.
Yes. And as you do, you notice it gets very much a lot darker as soon as you start exiting away from the forest center area. And with all the wind that was behind you coming from those steps, you do hear the sound of running water. It's quiet, and it's obscured by the sound of rustling leaves below you guys, which is odd because again, there's no wind in the area as you guys are traveling. You just hear the of the branches below you.
The trees are gassy.
But you definitely hear the sound of water running. And no, you don't notice. Actually, no, you would notice it because of the light. As you start passing and you just make it to near the edge of the forest, you see the source of where the running water is. It seems that within all this mass of trees and life, and just underneath this, the mist of green smoke, which you're keeping away from, but it's not blocking your visibility. You notice that it's actually almost like a natural well. There's a drop in the ground, which has several almost streams of water running into it. You can't tell exactly what color because of the light from the trees is giving off this strange blue glow, and then the actual color of the mist itself is changed it into this odd turquoisey color water. But you can see it run into this well and then disappear below, where it disappears. And you notice that one of the streams is actually in the direction you guys are traveling in. And at this point, Ulan, you're just about touching down on the outskirts of the forest. And you notice that the spore cloud, which was surrounding this forest, is very much circulated around the forest itself. It doesn't expand out of it, it doesn't go any further. It seems to very much be a cloud specifically influenced by this forest itself.
Okay.
And as you touch down, you can see this mass of trees of very odd, again, very turquoise coloured leaves, moss. You're not really sure what they are from this distance. And then you see the rest of them coming behind you.
Can I do a nature check?
From this distance, sure. 21.
Wow.
Yeah. This is definitely not trees. This is as you're at a good enough distance, you can actually tell the trunks. That's not trunk. That's not bark. That's definitely some type of. It's almost some type of fungus. As you notice, even though it looks like leaves, it's not leaves. This is some type of almost the type of the hairs of mushrooms. And it has an imitation of branches, but this is very much stalks of some type of mushroom, and it is glowing, and it seems to expanse the entirety of this forest.
Okay.
As the rest of you guys come down behind, and with your accelerated speed come down behind you and land on this very soft ground. There is traces of actual rock outcroppings coming up, and you see the odd stalactite merging into another one and becoming the larger ones that you saw previously, which seem to just scale up to 30, 40, 50 feet in height. And then a Senager with Savant and Django comes down behind and lands.
Why are you guys landing? Keep going. I'll keep up.
Technically, yeah, you could. You run faster.
I could, run faster than they're falling.
Yeah. What's yours? 45 feet?
Yeah, 45 is my
Yeah.
basic, so I could run 90 around. And their fly speed is what, 60?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Well, technically it's 120 if they dash, but yeah. Yeah, with that,
Can you
if,
dash with fly?
I think you can.
Okay.
Because you just gain a flying speed, so yeah. Yeah, with all of you going by different modes of transport, the glider keeping pretty low to the ground, but constantly picking up air, and then kind of doing a wave, just going up and down, up and down. Keeps a pretty good beat just behind Ulan, and just ahead, the 3 people flying, carrying. And as you're traveling around, you're seeing again the same stalagmites, and down here, it's very much the same sort of atmosphere as above, but it's a lot more lively. The mushrooms that you saw are much more abundant. You see several sprouts of them coming around and localizing around one of the stalagmites. You see that stream of water separate in several different directions, and moss growing and piling up around parts of the stream, which gives colour to the area where it was very much bland and dark and very drab above. Down here, there's life, which is odd considering the stories you've heard of what's down here. And ahead, Seren, you see it first. The shapes you had spotted.
Mm-hmm.
They're, as they come into view, as you are one of the first flying people, the shapes come. There isn't any defining features. There's definitely some building that was here, as you notice that there's definitely ruins to this, as you see sheared parts of maybe a wall that's collapsed to one side. You see an archway which is partially still there, but is one side has gone down. You see several pillars which were possibly holding something up, but are now solitary lines that you can see in the darkness. And as you guys all approach closer, there's definitely a symbolism about it which is familiar. And as you approach, you see a similar design of what could be almost an amphitheater to one side, with a similar concave shape, which the entirety of this ruin that is down here encompasses possibly a good 100-foot square area, as the ones flying actually have a good vantage point down. And as you are traveling forwards, are you just going to travel straight into it, or are you going to land outside of it?
Outside of the ruins? I don't know, I'd opt for outside.
Actually, as you're at the front, you see Ro kind of do a circle motion and points down.
So spiraling down to land, or going around?
You can
to
tell as she
there
begins to slow down her pace. Who is she holding? She's holding Burka. As they begin to slow down slightly, and actually, she doesn't even need to spiral. She just drops down. Forgot, fly. You literally can just drop down.
Yeah, it's true.
You don't need to slow your. You don't have to slow your speed. You just slow down and then you just stop. Yeah, they just like slow down, stop, stand up, and then go down to the ground, gently. About 60 feet out.
All right, I'll go down with.
All right. As the rest behind catch up, the glider Ulan. She puts Booker down. Everyone lands. This is the ruins that Arcantale mentioned. He said it was something to do with the elves, but I wasn't that concerned. What we are here, though, is to, as you'll be interested in, check on the drow. Especially now what we know, and what you've told us. We're supposed to speak with them about the mind flayers, but I think we have another reason to keep an eye on them now. When we've done that, we'll head down through the falls that you saw previous. That'll take us below. there we'll find the basin. And hopefully, the source of this problem. Aaron, even though you're blind, give me a perception check.
I did cast that vision.
Okay, but this is gonna be hearing, so it doesn't matter.
Let me open my character sheet.
Oh my gosh. Everyone
Why did
close.
you close it down?
I always close it down.
Just have it on a separate tab.
How it opens
Oh,
a different tab.
okay. 12? No. You can just hear the ever so slight ripples of water in the distance, but nothing odd. Seren, actually, what's yours? Your passive perception?
13.
13?
Wait, we're using passive minus 2?
No, well, I'm using a passive to see if you would have the chance of hearing anything. Has anyone got higher than 13?
Of what, sorry?
Passive perception.
No.
Okay. Actually,
I got a 12.
Yeah, mine's 12 as well.
Mine is 12 also. It seems like the general of the group is 12.
Yeah, I
no
know.
one was very
Elves
We're
are
slightly
wise.
wise the entire
Yeah,
group.
elves and
Under
gnomes
that-
is automatically proficient in perception.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
So Ifilmos should have higher than.
Yeah, he has a passive perception. But I think
I don't think it's particularly wise, is it?
while I'm here, I'll have a look at his sheet. Why not? Let's see if he hears anything.
Well, I think his. Yeah, his proficiency is +4, so it's at least 14.
Yeah, it's at least.
I believe Ifilmore has a minus, though. Let me
Yeah.
check.
Yeah.
He is in the dark though.
He is in the dark. And considering now he's in the Deeplands,
His stats increase.
yeah, he does have a -1. But yes, because he is down here, can attempt to. Where's the perception? Yeah. Wait, he didn't actually give himself the bonus. Silly.
But it's an elf thing, so
He should have it, yeah. Oh wait, no, he's okay. His character sheet has it twice. Never mind.
Well,
Weird.
okay then.
Never mind. Wait, what was the first one? Oh, the first one was 13. So 13 +4 +3, 16. Okay. And I'll do Booker as well. Okay. Ethan was the only one that hears this. Because I even rolled for Booker. He didn't hear either. Ithamore does twitch his head and then looks towards the runes. I think I heard sword clashing.
Like what type? Training or battle?
I don't know. And we're on the session there
Reaction? Oh, great.
from the runes.